I'm Megan, and I'm the Assistant Camp Director here at Camp Sale, and today we're going to be performing a squid dissection. Squid are along with cuttlefish are under the classification of cephalopods, which means head foot. Squids have 10 arms, which are wrapped around its head. 8 are short and heavy and are lined with suction cups. The 9th and 10th are twice the length of the others and are called tentacles. Squids feed on small crustaceans and fish, marine worms, and even their own kind. They use their tentacles to quickly catch their prey, which is pulled in by the arms and down into the radula or the beak, which uses a tongue-like action to get its food to the mouth so it can be swallowed whole. The beak is not a part of the shell, but a separate tooth-like structure. Its stream-like body and jet propulsion, which occurs as the squid squeezes water out of its body through its siphon, makes the squid a fast and active predator. This animal also has a very good defense mechanism. Squids can produce a dark ink that they use to escape predators. When a squid is startled, they'll release their ink in a dark cloud of ink and confuses the predator while the squid will swim away. Squids have a soft body which has a special covering called a mantle, which encloses all of its organs such as its heart, stomach, and gills. Squids' eyes are much like ours, however the lens is shaped differently and are not quite round. Squids can tell the difference between light and dark, but not color. Squids' eyes are much like ours, however the lens is shaped differently and are not quite round. Squids can tell the difference between light and dark, but not color. They can also see a complete image of what it is looking at and even receive a polarized light to allow them to see the shiny mirror reflections on fish scales. The main part of the body is the mantle. Squids have no external shell, so this soft, dotted colored tube encloses the main part of the body. The small dots that you can see on the squid are called chromatophores, which allows the squid to change colors depending on its mood, such as angry, scared, or hungry, or to camouflage itself to its surrounding to escape predators. You will notice 2 fins on the mantle. The fins allow the squid to steer themselves, help stabilize their position, and propel them and slow their speeds. Next, we're going to be cutting into the squid to explore its internal anatomy. I'm going to be cutting the mantle all the way up, making sure I'm pulling it away from its internal organs so I don't damage them. I'm going to cut all the way up to the tip, and I'm going to start opening it up like it's a book. So now we have the internal anatomy. I'm going to set my scissors down. So as we kind of look, you can't really tell too much of what's going on here, but the first thing that I like to notice is its gills. Squid are much like fish, and they don't really have, lungs like you and me. They have gills. So right here, I'm pulling them to the sides. I have one gill here, and I have one gill here. They don't look like much right now, but when you dip them in water, they open up and become a feathery like consistency. That's so it can help catch all of the oxygen from the water. Next we have, if I can open it up, the ink sac. This cool silver sac right here is called the ink sac. Like I talked about earlier, when squids are scared or in distress, they will shoot out this ink for protection. So what I can do is, if I take my tweezers and my scissors, I'm going to gently lift up the ink sac, and I'm going to cut the connective tissue. I'm trying to be very careful not to actually cut the ink sac because we're going to try something later. Next we can look again, and here is that siphon. As you can see, the siphon is connected with its internal anatomy. However, it does stick in between its 2 eyes. What it does is the water will filter in, and then they will shoot out the water through its jet propulsion of the siphon to help it swim fast. Squids have 3 hearts. They're located usually up by the gills and then usually in the middle. They're really, really hard to see, but they're usually a different color. Here we have an example of a male squid. We can tell that it's a male from its reproductive organs, which are right here. Typically, if we had a female, its reproductive organs would be over here, and it would look like a bunch of dots, which would be the eggs. So we have a male here. And then the rest of our internal anatomy is all of the digestive system. If we take the ink sac and cut into it, we have a bunch of this dark black ink. Can we see that? What you can do, if you ever come to camp and do squid dissection, is then you can take your probe and you can draw a little picture with squid ink, just like a pen. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pop out the beak so we can look at it. And we're going to notice how it's connected to the rest of the digestive system. So what I do is I'm going to put my fingers in between its eyes and I'm going to push, 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 push. Until I pop out the beak. There's the top of the beak. It looks a lot like a parrot's beak. I'm going to keep going. Oh, there we go. There's the bottom of the beak. So I'm going to lay it back down, and you can see that the beak is connected to its esophagus, and when I pull, you can notice it's connected to the rest of the digestive system. So here we have the beak. Looks just like a parrot's beak. So the last thing we're going to do today in this video is we're going to look at its one source of support. Squids are invertebrates, so they do not have bones like you and me. So what they do have is like a piece of cartilage called a pen. So what I'm going to do, and it lines the whole back of the squid, is I'm going to, and this is kind of difficult to do, I'm going to separate the bottom of the pen, and I'm going to pull gently. And now I have the pen. It looks just like a quill on an old-timey pen. I'll lay it on my hand. So it's very plasticky. It feels like almost like the plastic of a water bottle. And it lines the entire body of the squid. And this kind of gives it just a little bit of support so it can hold it up and it's not just like a jellyfish where it's all gloppy and everywhere, which is super cool. Not many people get to see that. And then you also could take it in that ink one more time, and you can draw with your pen. Thanks everyone for watching our squid dissection video today. We hope you learned something new. Comment below on your favorite squid fact. Stay safe and stay healthy.